Blake, I told you, girl, the call is coming from inside the fucking house. Pick up. Ryan Reynolds is saying he doesn't need to be here. He didn't ask for this. He doesn't have shit to do with it. Than being a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation Miss Lively has suffered. So y'all are broke. If y'all are broke, just say that. Just say you can't pay these lawyers. I know it ain't cheap. Paying lawyer fees for 3 months. You truly believe you don't have nothing to do with this? Your lawyer should have dismissed you from this case from get-go. But no, you all thought you were gonna get away with all the crap. Now that it's not looking good for you, you want a little separation. That's your wife. You're gonna stick beside her. That's the bone of your bone, the rib of your rib. That's yours forever and
Y'all, it doesn't seem like this messy situation involving Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni is going to calm down anytime soon, because every time we think we've reached the end of the drama, something new erupts and makes it even more chaotic than we imagined. Ryan Reynolds has been very vocal about standing firmly by his wife's side, claiming he will support her, 10 toes down, because he genuinely believes she is in the right. He has consistently praised her for defending herself against controversy, which painted him as the picture-perfect husband who always has her back. However, recent rumors suggest we may have been misled by this public image. Sources now indicate that a new video is circulating which allegedly shows Blake pressuring Ryan to declare his support for her, essentially strong-arming him into public endorsement. Apparently, she felt this move would benefit her reputation, especially in light of Justin Baldoni's revelations about her actions. If this video is authentic, it could completely change public perception of their relationship, calling into question how voluntary Ryan's support truly was and whether his perfect husband image was partly orchestrated.
We should get those by the end of next week. And now, of course, from Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, we heard a little bit about their plan, too. He talked about how they want this case moving forward as quickly as possible.
Ryan Reynolds, one of Hollywood's biggest stars, has always been widely loved, and it seems Blake may have been counting on some of that public affection to sway opinion in her favor. However, the backlash now appears to be overwhelming for Ryan, as he has reportedly filed a motion to remove himself from the lawsuit entirely. Interestingly, he isn't trying to dismiss the case or get it thrown out. He just wants to extract himself from it, signaling that he may be exhausted from feeling forced into supporting Blake. This development raises major questions. Was Justin Baldoni innocent all along? And has Ryan been covering for Blake? With tensions mounting and public scrutiny intensifying, the situation seems far from resolved, leaving fans and insiders alike wondering what will happen next.
Why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds stepped out for the first time since all the drama to the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. At the end of the day, this is all for PR.
In a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out, and I think I was so vulnerable and comfortable.
Okay.
Is Ryan Reynolds
mean?
like he's
Canadian?
Look, you punch
It's
a couple
super
hundred
annoying.
orphans and suddenly you're mean. This is
As I mentioned, Ryan has been firmly on Blake's side throughout this entire case, so it was shocking to learn that he now wants out. Not only does he want out, but he is determined to completely remove himself, having filed a motion with the court to officially extract himself from the lawsuit, claiming it has nothing to do with him and that Justin should never have included him in the first place. For context, Ryan became involved after taking shots at Justin in the movies Deadpool and Wolverine, which inadvertently drew him into the legal drama surrounding Blake.
Has seemingly done, right, is used his power and influence to not only help Blake Lively take over this movie, he's used it, on Deadpool to make fun of Justin Baldoni.
Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist.
Justin claimed that the character, Nice Pool, introduced at the end of Deadpool vs. Wolverine, was created to mock him, and he pulled Marvel, Disney, and Ryan Reynolds into the lawsuit as well. According to reports, Brian Friedman sent a legal letter to Marvel boss Kevin Feige and Disney CEO Bob Iger, accusing Reynolds of directly targeting Justin in the segment where he plays the Deadpool variant, Nice Pool. In that scene, Reynolds says, Where in the God's name is the intimacy coordinator? And also praises Lady Deadpool for snapping back after having a baby, while making remarks about feminism. Baldoni reportedly interpreted this as a deliberate jab at him for promoting himself as a feminist during It Ends With Us promotions. Friedman's letter demanded that Disney and Marvel preserve all documents reflecting any attempt to mock, harass, ridicule, intimidate, or bully Baldoni through the character of Nice Pool, while also hinting at potential claims like interference with contracts and civil extortion. In his court filing, Ryan did not deny taking shots at Justin, but instead argued that Baldoni's thin-skinned outrage over a satirical movie character lacked any legitimate legal basis. An insider noted that Baldoni's legal team plans to scrutinize the Deadpool films, their funding, and the actors and producers who were aware of the alleged bullying during production. Since Reynolds did not dispute that Nice Pool was based on Baldoni, the scope of the case may now expand as Baldoni's lawyers attempt to prove that he was subjected to a coordinated attack. Ryan admitted that the character was based on Justin, dragging Hugh Jackman, the directors, producers, and Disney into the controversy, yet he now seeks to be removed from the case. According to reports, Reynolds described himself as a supportive spouse who witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial toll Blake Lively endured. An insider added that Ryan claimed Baldoni was trying to shame him for being confident enough to stand by his wife, and that his legal team maintained that Ryan's statements about Justin being a predator were not defamation because he genuinely believed them to be true. The court document stated that the first amended complaint contained no plausible facts, suggesting Reynolds did not believe his statements. Therefore, Justin's claims regarding defamation appear to lack merit. However, Justin's lawyer dismissed Ryan's motion, arguing that Reynolds' influence in Hollywood was exploited to harm Baldoni, including attempts to force WME to drop him as a client and undermine his career. Reports allege that Reynolds' fingerprints have been evident in this smear campaign from the beginning, and that his attempt to reduce serious claims to hurt feelings sends the wrong message about accountability. Fans are now criticizing Ryan's motion to dismiss, with rumors circulating that his involvement was largely because Blake pressured him into supporting her, believing it would strengthen her public image. Evidence of this includes her text to Justin, in which she compared herself to Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, claiming, "If you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons protect those I fight for, and you will too." This text suggests that Blake viewed Ryan's involvement as a protective force in her favor, reinforcing the idea that he may have been strong-armed into supporting her. With Ryan now filing to remove himself from the lawsuit, the situation has intensified, raising questions about whether Justin Baldoni was truly innocent all along, and if Ryan's previous support was coerced rather than voluntary. The entire saga highlights a complex web of personal, professional, and legal conflicts, with Hollywood power dynamics and public perception at the center. Ryan's previous public image as the devoted husband is now under scrutiny, and the narrative has shifted from a simple case of celebrity feud to a multifaceted dispute involving claims of bullying, intimidation, and reputational damage. The implications of the lawsuit extend beyond the parties involved, shining a light on how influence, personal relationships, and media narratives can intersect to create legal and public relations nightmares. As fans, insiders, and the public watch closely, the outcome remains uncertain, but it's clear that Blake's tactics, Ryan's involvement, and Justin's responses have created a story far more complicated than originally perceived. The combination of legal maneuvering, public statements, leaked communications, and personal accounts paints a picture of a tangled, high-stakes conflict where motivations, power plays, and reputations are all on the line. This saga underscores the fragility of public perception, the potential consequences of celebrity influence, and the difficulty of untangling personal loyalty from legal responsibility, leaving everyone involved under intense scrutiny as the case continues to unfold.
Baldoni's lawsuit won't hold up in court. He says him referring to Baldoni as a predator is constitutionally protected opinion. Blake's husband also rips Baldoni's lawsuit as essentially a burned book and claims Justin is trying to shame him for sticking up for his wife. Ryan, I'm still waiting for you to show us one single text message between you and Blake within the time of production that shows her distress, her discomfort, her pain, her suffering, anything. You're telling me your wife was being SH'd at work and you guys did not talk about it in text, in email one time? And I don't want to hear he was on set. He was on set a few times. There were multiple days of production where he was filming Deadpool and she was on set with Justin. You knew this whole time. You've been paying lawyer fees for 3 months.
Word on the streets is that not even Blake Lively's husband is safe from her alleged bullying, as she supposedly pressures him into participating in her legal battles to enhance her own image. For those unfamiliar, this isn't the first time Blake has faced accusations of being difficult or controlling on set. Rumors suggest she was so harsh to a former assistant during the filming of A Simple Favor that the assistant eventually quit. The story resurfaced when assistant director Barbara Seaman shared her behind-the-scenes experience after Simple Favor's star Henry Golding posted about the upcoming sequel. Barbara casually dropped a bomb in the comments, revealing that she had walked away from the first movie because of Blake's behavior. She wrote that while working with everyone else was amazing, Blake made her quit as an assistant. Although Barbara later deleted the post, the internet never forgets, and she received overwhelming support from fans, prompting her to open up further. She admitted that Blake had been cruel to many, causing her to cry her way home many nights because no matter how hard she tried, Blake was never satisfied and constantly put her down. Barbara emphasized that this was long before Justin Baldoni's involvement, showing a pattern of behavior that spanned years. She wasn't the only one to come forward. Multiple crew members have corroborated similar experiences. A former crew member on Gossip Girl recounted that working with Blake was unpleasant, describing her as a bully who treated the crew as if they were children. If she didn't get her way, she would throw tantrums, act disrespectfully, and create a hostile environment. The same source noted that while other actors like Leighton Meester were approachable and pleasant with fans, Blake's interactions with the crew were consistently negative, and she often made scenes to assert control. Importantly, these testimonies have nothing to do with Justin Baldoni, as they date back to 2010, long before his involvement, suggesting that this behavior is not an isolated incident. The consistency of these accounts from various productions and crew members across different times and locations points to a clear pattern. Justin Baldoni's legal team has also claimed to possess evidence showing Blake engaging in bullying, including threats and attempts to dominate film productions. According to them, she would often use others to deliver these threats and manipulate situations to achieve her goals, reinforcing a history of controlling behavior. They assert that they will release all supporting evidence, which demonstrates a repeated pattern of intimidation and manipulation, confirming what many insiders have long suspected. These revelations, combined with first-hand accounts, illustrate a history of behavior that seems to follow a recognizable pattern, highlighting how consistent reports from multiple sources converge on the same narrative. The documentation is said to include communications and interactions that reveal Blake's method of leveraging her influence over colleagues and staff to ensure compliance with her wishes, reinforcing the claims of long-term bullying. With all the supporting evidence in hand, it paints a picture of someone who frequently exerts control through intimidation and manipulation, not only in professional settings but potentially spilling over into personal relationships, such as her alleged involvement in pressuring Ryan Reynolds into participating in legal matters. Collectively, these accounts, insider reports, and documented interactions establish a comprehensive record suggesting that Blake Lively has consistently exhibited patterns of bullying, intimidation, and controlling behavior, impacting those around her, from assistants to coworkers and even her husband, across multiple projects and over many years, leaving a trail of corroborated experiences that point to a systemic pattern of difficult and domineering behavior.
We believe you don't have nothing to do with this. Your lawyer should have dismissed you from this case from get-go. But no, you all thought you were gonna get away with all the crap. Now that it's not looking good for you, you want a little separation. That's your wife. You're gonna stick beside her. That's the bone of your bone, the rib of your rib. That's yours forever and ever. You're going down together. That should be a song. I just want to see the one text message. She texted you saying, Ryan, today's hard for me. Justin came in my trailer and he looked at me. what did I say, with his head full of hair. And yeah, and then I invited him on the jet with us and with me and the kids because I was so scared of him. Show me one text message and I'm Team Blake, but you don't got it. See you in 2026.
Rumor has it that Blake's alleged bullying is the very reason Ryan became involved in this legal mess in the first place. And, of course, everyone remembers that SNL joke.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
At first, Ryan Reynolds tried to claim that the SNL joke was scripted by the show, but it seems the producers had learned from Disney's earlier involvement in the lawsuit and were quick to distance themselves from the controversy. After the SNL episode ended, the team made it clear that they did not want to be part of any legal drama surrounding the joke. Longtime cue card handler Wally Forston, better known as Card Wally, appeared on the Australian radio show Fifi, Fev, and Nick to discuss all the behind-the-scenes moments from that night. Naturally, it didn't take long before one of the hosts asked the burning question on everyone's mind. Was Ryan Reynolds' joke planned, or was it truly an off-the-cuff remark? Wally left very little room for speculation. He made it abundantly clear that the joke was not spontaneous and had been finalized ahead of time, meaning Ryan knew exactly what he was doing when he delivered it. This revelation cast the moment in a much harsher light, as it shows the joke was intentional and calculated rather than a casual, in-the-moment quip, which, frankly, makes the situation even worse and more concerning for those following the controversy.
Reynolds and Blake Lively have been in the news a lot, and Ryan Reynolds, we want to know, was that an improv or was it scripted, his little piece he did?
That was actually, he had a different line in rehearsal, and he pitched that to replace it. So that was his idea to do it. We wouldn't want to do anything too controversial unless they were in on it. So yeah, that was his line. That was his idea.
By this point, fans weren't even surprised that Ryan Reynolds would pull something like this. They were more stunned by how desperate he and Blake appeared to be for a PR reset. It seemed like there was nothing they wouldn't do to regain public favor, even if it meant throwing someone else under the bus. Naturally, Ryan's team wasn't about to let Wally Forston's comments go unchecked. They immediately launched into damage control, aiming to push back and set the narrative straight, claiming that the opening joke had been pitched by SNL and remained unchanged, while the follow-up joke was rewritten during rehearsal. A representative for NBC also appeared to support Ryan's side, stating that Wally's claims were untrue, and a source close to SNL confirmed that he is not part of the writing process or involved in any of those creative decisions. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's lawyer expressed shock and disapproval, noting that Ryan would make a joke about something his wife allegedly found so traumatizing, further fueling the controversy and public scrutiny surrounding the entire incident.
Yeah, that seemed like that might be the latest move.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that, and so it surprised me.
Ryan Reynolds is taking a serious hit from this situation, and it's not shocking that he would want to distance himself from the drama, especially with reports suggesting he may have been fired by Disney for allegedly violating their morality clause. Word on the street is that Ryan secured a very comfortable $30 million paycheck for his role in Deadpool vs. Wolverine. Sure, the movie grossed over $1 billion at the box office, so they could afford him, but insiders say his enormous salary didn't sit well with some higher-ups. Some producers had reportedly already been scrutinizing how much he was earning, and this wasn't the first time his payday raised eyebrows. For context, Ryan reportedly made around $20 million for the first Deadpool, and for the sequel, that number nearly doubled. Once you factor in his percentage of the profits, his earnings climbed even higher, making him one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood. While this may sound great for Ryan, executives allegedly felt uneasy, especially given that he was now embroiled in a messy controversy that could be seen as breaking a morality clause in his contract. The last thing studios want is an actor raking in huge sums while causing PR nightmares. Rumors of him getting fired began circulating when an insider tweeted that Ryan Reynolds had been dismissed by Marvel for using Deadpool and Wolverine to mock and bully another director. While many doubted he would actually get the boot, given Deadpool's massive popularity and Ryan being the face of the franchise, it's Disney we're talking about, and they've never hesitated to drop anyone if a lawsuit or controversy threatens their image or revenue. With the drama escalating and turning into a bigger headache, it's understandable why Ryan chose to remove himself from the mess before it spiraled further. Whether it was the negative publicity or the potential firing by Disney that finally pushed him over the edge, it seems he is done with the legal battle and wants to return to being one of Hollywood's most beloved actors, even if Blake continues to face scrutiny as a result. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has responded to Ryan's motion for dismissal, with his lawyer stating that laws are not meant to be manipulated by privileged elites to suit personal agendas. In response to Ryan's attempt to step away, Justin's team asserted they will continue to hold Blake accountable for what they claim are malicious actions, including false accusations of harassment and retaliation. They emphasized that her claims will be swiftly debunked as discovery moves forward, easily disproven with actual evidentiary proof. Justin's team made it clear that Ryan and Blake will ultimately have to face the consequences of their actions and cannot rely on others to guide them on how to navigate the legal system. In other words, they won't be coddled, and they are fully responsible for managing the situation they are in. The controversy underscores the complex intersection of celebrity influence, public perception, and legal accountability, demonstrating that no matter how popular or financially successful someone is, actions that appear to exploit power or harm others can carry serious professional and personal consequences. For Ryan, the decision to distance himself seems to be a strategic attempt to protect his career, reputation, and future projects, acknowledging that remaining entangled in the litigation could jeopardize his standing with major studios. At the same time, the dispute continues to highlight Blake's role and alleged tactics, keeping both of them under intense scrutiny as fans, insiders, and legal teams watch closely to see how the drama unfolds. In the end, this saga reflects a high-stakes mix of Hollywood politics, celebrity dynamics, and legal maneuvering, with significant consequences for all involved, proving that even the most powerful actors and public figures are not immune to accountability, backlash, or the consequences of decisions made in the public eye.
Like when you're discussing with Disney the jokes about Disney.
The fun story would be that Disney was just appalled at everything and was never going to let us do anything. But that's on one hand. On the other hand, money. They had a lot of faith in us to deliver and to self-govern. So yes, there's jokes in there that I personally cannot believe they let us.
And in fairness, because we were like the kind of good boy students turning in our script every once in a while, and every time we send a script, we were like kind of waiting, and the pushback never came, and it became clear that on this movie, funny wins.
Really, there was one joke, one line that they asked me to take out.
When I was on set, I was like, there's no way that's going to be it.
Yeah. I have a joke about Hugh that I couldn't believe he let me say in the movie. So that passes. I was like, wow, he let that.
Justin may have taken on more than he can handle, but I want to hear what you all think. So drop your thoughts in the comments before checking out the next